Yo, hot dog. Don't you also play Geoguessr? I added some real-life coverage to Minecraft with Arnis World Gen. Why don't you try it out?
Many of you already know Minecraft, I suppose, but maybe Geoguessr is a game you're new to. But don't worry, it's really easy to get, and I'll give you a crash course right now. So, Geoguessr is this game where you spawn in a random location anywhere in the world, and your goal is to figure out where you are. You are awarded points based on how near you are to the actual location. The rules may seem simple, but to play it well, one would require extensive knowledge, memorization, and deduction skills. Honestly, as a casual player, the most I can say about myself is that I'm like a beginner to intermediate level in this game. And bringing this into Minecraft, well, it could prove quite the challenge. Alright, so my friend Boomer has sent me the files over on Google, which means we're finally ready to start the challenge. And he's also disclosed the answers to each of the levels. And from this message, we can actually take a look at how the composition of the challenge is like. Like, for example, here we have 3 differing difficulties right now: easy, medium, and hard. And easy will include famous places, which I'm assuming means maybe tourist attractions. And then we have medium, which includes skylines or views of big cities. Big cities could mean maybe size, or it could also mean maybe how well known the city is. I'm not sure about that, but that's interesting as well. And then hard will probably be the most unique in the terms that it requires Geoguessr meta. So I'm very interested to see how my friend Boomer here actually incorporated like Geoguessr meta into Minecraft. It's kind of interesting. Okay, maybe you're scratching your head right now, asking what Geoguessr meta is. Basically, in a Geoguessr game, rely on traditional navigation may be too difficult, so players use behind-the-scenes information, patterns, and non-geographical clues to decode the environment. Some examples are Google Street View camera generations, Google car equipment, coverage quirks, license plates, and so on. For example, in this round, I used quite a lot of meta. Specifically, the Google truck blur driving on the right, added on with these unique road lines, and the overall red, dry vibe point towards an easy Senegal. Alright, let's get back to the challenge. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to set up this point system to see how to track how well we actually do in this challenge. I'm thinking that if we get the country right, we're going to add 1 point. And if we get the exact location, for example, we know which city it is, or which tourist attraction, or whatever place it is, we can plus 2 points. So the max is going to be 30 points. And I'm thinking a realistic goal right now is maybe 20 out of 30. So I think with this in mind, we're ready to start the challenge. Let's go. Let's hop right in to easy number 1. Okay, so what are we looking at right now? This does feel like a relatively big square, with a river across. Now, what I'm thinking immediately is something like London or Paris, like one of those famous cities with a river running through them. And I have an idea. This could be the Louvre Museum in Paris. I do remember it being like this, looking quite similar. And yes, this would be that royal garden. I forgot what it was actually called, but this would probably be the garden that is directly across from the Louvre. So I'm relatively certain that this is the Louvre in Paris, and this kind of residential area also feels a lot like Paris, like very Parisian, dense and all kind of interconnected somehow. And very beautiful city, actually. This is a very beautiful view. And yeah, we're gonna lock in our first answer of the Louvre in Paris. Alright, so we're back in Discord and we're just gonna check our first answer. Indeed, it is the Louvre in Paris, so we get 2 points for that. We're just gonna keep track of our points and let's get right into the next level. Alright, and now with easy challenge number 1 down pretty quick, let's get right into E2. Okay, so immediately we're looking at a patch of land with this ginormous bridge going outwards. Okay, now with a bridge this large with these huge supporting pillars, immediately my thought was the Golden Gate Bridge, because as Boomer has mentioned, these are famous views. So I'm relatively certain this is the Golden Gate Bridge. I do remember it looking quite like this, and we'll know once we reach the other side, because I am very clear on the angle of the road that exits the Golden Gate Bridge from that side. Alright, so the angle of the exit road is correct. And would you look at that, like the world generation has even added the toll gate at the end. So yeah, overall I'm relatively certain this is the Golden Gate Bridge. There's probably no doubt about that. First 2 easy challenges down, let's move on to the third one. Okay, so immediately we're met with this relatively dry looking garden, very symmetrical. Alright, so the mystery's over, guys. This was a very quick round. This is immediately the Taj Mahal. There's really not much to say here. Yep, nothing to be said. Let's just keep going. Okay, and what do we have here? Oh my gosh, so we're looking at the side of the world generation, and this is a crazy parabola the mountain is creating. This kind of shows how insane world generation can be with this Arnis world gen. We seem to be in a park of high altitude. Okay. Ah, the mystery man over here. This will be the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Yeah, it's pretty accurate, I'd say. It's pretty cool. I'd really want to see, what altitude are we at? We are at 280. This is almost at the building limit, isn't it? Wow, this is some insane generation by Arnis. This is crazy. Wow. Alright guys, so this is the last level of the easies. Some tall buildings there. We seem to be in a relatively urban area with the lake. Again, there's a lake, and immediately I spot my clue here. This is the Tower Bridge in London. There's nothing else to say about this level. It's very quick and snappy. The easy challenges were indeed very easy, and there's not much to say here. Speed ran the entirety of easy. I'm getting a full 10 points for this. It wasn't hard at all. And I'm looking forward to the medium challenge. Alright guys, so we are in the medium levels, and we are met with a relatively spread out urban area with scattered skyscrapers. This is very interesting. Actually, why does it feel like this entire place is still under construction? It's actually very interesting. Yeah, it's like literally you can see the these machines here. Like this entire place is still under construction, which is very interesting. This would indicate somewhere developing. And okay, so we're seeing a sprawl of roads here. I think these houses on the road generated wrongly. I don't know why it would be houses on the road, but if we actually look at this, I'm actually understanding how massive this traffic area is. This is pretty impressive. Also kind of chaotic, to be honest. Like, if I'm looking at this. I don't know where this would be, but this does remind me of those urban areas in Asia, perhaps, like China and Japan. To be honest, this doesn't feel like Tokyo in any way. So I'm gonna go with somewhere in China, maybe Beijing or Shanghai or something. I don't know if this is the central part of the city, but it does seem pretty scattered with a massive traffic system. So let's lock in perhaps Beijing, guys. Oh, and we do see a iconic building there. That is the, I forgot what exact building this is, but I remember it being in the CBD of Beijing. Oh wait, okay, so it is Beijing, and it's called the CCTV tower, maybe it's a CCTV tower. Yeah, I think that rings a few bells. Alright, so I thought I'd do something interesting, guys. So we're actually right now in what you could say is the equivalent of Google Maps in China, which is the Baidu map. And let's actually see how the surroundings look like. So I've located the rough area. It's in Beijing, as you can see. Oh, it's so laggy. I remember it's this line over here, around here. I think it's over here. Can we see the... Yeah, we can. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that is the building right here. This CCTV tower, and it is still under construction, whatever this place is supposed to be. And yeah, there's quite a few skyscrapers along this area. Oh my god, guys, and I'm pretty sure this over here is the absolute chaos of traffic we were seeing earlier. Let's just plop ourselves right in the middle, guys. Oh, like it looks like we've landed in one of the lower bridges, but let's just keep going. It's not very good, the mobility. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, we can see there's... Wow, that's a lot of traffic, and these forks are just really actually doing their job. Like, this is crazy. So I don't know the exact efficiency of how this layout works, but it does seem like there is quite a lot of traffic. Yeah. Okay, guys, and we just logged into this. Wow, this is a massive skyline, guys. This is actually a massive skyline. Very dense. This is a very dense collection of high-rises, which immediately reminds me of two cities, especially with this kind of very curated aesthetic style of the city planning. This indeed very much reminds me of the Singapore or Hong Kong skylines. So let's continue looking. Okay, so with this incredibly curated feel with parks and high-rises like alternating all over the place, I'm inclined to choose Singapore. Oh my gosh, guys, it was actually Hong Kong. I did consider Hong Kong, as I said, but like I just didn't feel the Hong Kong vibe as much as the Singapore vibe. I guess I was just wrong on that. Alright, and we are in the third level. Another very dense high-rise urban spot, but this actually isn't hard at all. Immediately I'm looking for the junctions in the roads, and they are exactly what I expected it to be. These are very signature American kind of grid city layouts. So, and with this density of high-rise, I'm relatively certain this is the Manhattan skyline. So I don't think there's much to say about this. And this park situated like on a grid is very iconic. So we're just gonna lock in Manhattan, New York. So yeah, it is New York. Somewhere called Bryant Park. I personally don't know where that is. Okay, so it seems that Bryant Park is, as I said, in Manhattan. And that building we saw in the park was the public library. That's actually interesting. Oh, and like the world generation captured this building over here like so well. That's actually impressive. All right, so moving on to the fourth level, we do see this structure over here, this ginormous three-legged structure, and this is obviously the Marina Bay Sands in Singapore. It's an iconic place, and yeah, I think this garden over here should be I think it was called the Gardens by the Bay, I'm pretty sure. It does have those artificial super trees. I'm honestly very impressed the world generation has captured them. So yeah, this was a Singapore, and we got mixed up with Hong Kong previously, but we're doing really good right now. We only lost a few points on this, and we didn't guess the exact place of the New York location, but it's totally fine. We're making really good progress, and let's just continue. Alright, and we have another lively night landscape of a city. This is again a urban sprawl. It's absolutely massive. Like, wow. And again, we have this kind of intense traffic system going through the city, which does remind me of Japan or China. Now, we do know that Beijing appeared in the previous round, so this will probably be Japan. And this overall feel like this intense traffic system does feel a lot like Tokyo, to be honest. So we're gonna just lock in Tokyo. I think he did say big city, so I'm assuming this will be the biggest cities in the country, and besides Tokyo, I'm not sure what else to choose, so we're just gonna lock in Tokyo right now. So we're ending off medium with a total of 6 points, which is really good progress. We just completely lost it on the Hong Kong round, and we didn't get the actual locations of the New York and Tokyo rounds, but that's totally fine. So let's move on to hard. Alright, now it's time for the hard challenges, which I am actually most excited for. Not because it's necessarily the hardest, but because I'm really excited to see how my friend Boomer has actually incorporated Geoguessr meta elements into the game. For all I know, I don't think the Arnis world generation is that specific in terms of details. Like, for example, like the buildings, you actually won't get to see how exactly it looks like, or what's inside and all that. There are also a lot of Geoguessr elements that are specific to Google Maps, which might not appear inside the Arnis world generation. So we're just going to hop in right now and see what our first level looks like. Alright, so immediately off the bat, we're noticing this sprucey forest along with mountainous terrain. This would indicate that the climate over here is probably temperate, more cold. But the main deal here I see is the single yellow line running through the road. Now there is this Geoguessr meta where yellow lines on roads are not very common throughout Europe and are usually found in the Americas. And if we take into consideration this temperate climate here, we will probably end up in the US or Canada. And in Canada, yellow single lines are what you mainly find on roads, as compared to double yellow lines in the US. So yeah, I'm relatively certain this is a Canada. And as for specific region guessing, I'm not exactly sure. This could be a British Columbia or anywhere else, so yeah. Let's just lock in Canada. Alright, so it was Canada, and exactly what I was saying, took the words right out of my mouth. And it turned out it really was British Columbia. I did consider that, because it's just so representative of this kind of terrain. We have our second hard challenge over here. I'm not sure what these buildings are supposed to be doing here. It seems pretty desolate, and again, with this kind of vibe, does feel pretty cold. It indeed is very cold. There's ice forming on the river, which is interesting. Let's find our meta though. Is it these buildings? I can't understand why these buildings would be meta. They're just generated. Wait, guys. This is sus. This is actually very sus. Please excuse my horrible building skills. This was definitely added by my friend Boomer here. And I guess there's a meta. And with this meta, everything becomes clear, guys. This is the notorious Google car found in Mongolia. And basically, it's like a Google car, but in the coverage, you can see that the car has like a tent attached on the top of the Google car. So yeah, it is like pretty much the only country in the world to actually have it like this kind of equipment on the Google car. So it's actually very obvious. And well, I mean, this car does look pretty hilarious, but I think he made his meaning clear enough, so now we do know it is Mongolia. Let's go. Alright, so moving on to the third one. We are again in a mountainous terrain with temperate, but I don't think it's exactly cold. And wooden poles, maybe that's part of the meta. Okay, I think this is the actual meta here. This is actually very creative, guys. The New Zealand bollard. We are currently witnessing the New Zealand bollard. So, in New Zealand, the bollards on the side of the road, kind of look like this. So it's like this white stick with this red tape wrapped around it. But on the back, the tape doesn't go all the way around, so there will be this white strip exposed. And this is the very iconic New Zealand bollard. And added along with this kind of foresty, mountainous terrain, I think there's not much doubt that this is indeed New Zealand. Yeah, exactly what I was saying. This was very creative of Boomer right here. Alright, so in the fourth round, guys, we've spawned in this brown shack, and well, we happen to be in a savanna, I would say, and we have a sign. The clue is this way, but you can wander around if you want. Let's just wander around first. Get a rough idea of where we are. Now, this does feel very savanna-y. Like, there's birch, and overall the brownish field does feel like a savanna, guys. But I don't know. Is this Kenya or something? There is meta in Kenya, like the truck meta. But let's just keep going. Let's see what there is. Oh, wait, is that another car? What is that? Is that a car with wings? What am I supposed to be looking at? What? Sorry again. I tried my best. Okay, sure. But the meta here is actually pretty simple to spot. This is the infamous Ghana black tape. If you're new to Geoguessr, this would probably be one of the first metas you would come in contact with because it's just so classic and so common. It's basically like in some countries the Google car has this rack on the back, and Ghana for some reason has a black tape taped around one of the racks. The only other region to do so is Reunion Island. off the coast of Africa, but the tape is placed on the other side, so this would be a very obvious Ghana. And yeah. Now I think about it, like this patch of dirt that we saw previously, I think what I was trying to say is like this is red soil, which is very common in Ghana. So actually this is a pretty accurate round, to be honest. The infamous Ghana black tape. That's another 2 points. Okay, and this will be the last stage. Well, we are on a junction in the middle of a forest, it seems like. To be honest, I'm getting a like Japan vibes again, but I can't be sure. Let's check for meta. It seems to be over there. Let's just see what is happening over here. Immediately, right off the bat, what attracts me the most is these black and white alternating curbs. Now, these curbs are, if I remember correctly, only found in Singapore and Malaysia. I'm not exactly sure if they're limited to these countries, but they are most commonly found in these two countries. So that's what we are going to be going off of. Sorry again, Lamau. Yeah, I did enjoy the challenge, but your cars are a little too hilarious. Anyway, this car, I think what he's trying to say, with Boomer is trying to say with this car is this over here is a black license plate, and it's not that useful because black license plates are found both in Malaysia and Singapore, so it has the same amount of information as this black and white curb. But okay, so what really sets Singapore and Malaysia apart are these yellow stripes. These I think are only found in Malaysia. You don't find these in Singapore. And added on with this large scale forest, like we can safely assume it is Malaysia. Yep, so it is Malaysia, and I guess we're ending off hard with a surprise or getting full marks in the hard section. I really enjoyed this challenge that brought real life and Minecraft together. And if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. Peace out, the hot dog.